The world of pop music is notorious for quick fame and even quicker downfalls. Some artists hit the peak of the charts, only to disappear almost as quickly as they arrived. In this video, we'll look at 8 of the quickest rise and falls in pop history. LMFAO. LMFAO was a highly popular duo from the early 2010s, consisting of Red Foo and Sky Blue. They achieved massive success during this era, with their party anthems dominating the charts. Their breakout hit Party Rock Anthem was released in 2011 and became a monumental success, spending 6 weeks on number 1. After going viral on YouTube, by the end of 2011, it ranked as the 3rd best-selling digital single globally. Following Party Rock Anthem, they released another number 1 hit, Sexy and I Know It, from their album Sorry for Party Rockin'. With their energetic performances and catchy tunes, LMFAO established themselves as the kings of party music, winning multiple awards and even performing at the Super Bowl halftime show alongside Madonna, an achievement that many seasoned superstars have not had yet. However, their good times were cut short due to tensions between Red Foo and Sky Blue, as well as changing trends in music that contributed to their decline. The duo announced their breakup in 2012 and embarked on solo careers, but struggled to replicate their previous successes. Since then, they have remained largely dormant. Red Foo has released music sporadically, while Sky Blue has stepped back from the music scene entirely, with his last release coming nearly a decade ago. Iggy Azalea. Iggy Azalea really burst onto the mainstream in 2014 with her breakthrough single Fancy featuring Charli XCX, which dominated the charts and turned her into a household name. The song reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, staying there for 7 weeks, making her only the 4th female rapper to ever hit the top spot. Her debut album, The New Classic, sold well, and she became one of the most talked about artists of the year. She also had top 10 hits like Black Widow by Rita Ora, and collaborations with major stars like Ariana Grande on Problem. 2014 was her year. After the release of her debut, Iggy's career took a nosedive. She faced backlash for cultural appropriation, and the constant scrutiny started to take a toll, and she didn't respond to it well. Her follow-up singles failed to match the success of her earlier hits. Her delayed sophomore album Digital Distortion was released in 2019, 5 years after her debut. That album flopped, and that only added the growing sense that her moment had passed. Her public image also became a problem, from social media feuds to her complicated relationship with the media, all contributed to her fade from the limelight. She continues to release music independently, though she has struggled to regain her former glory. She has also ventured into business with her own makeup line and dabbled into reality TV. She also made a bag of her OnlyFans, so she's doing super well financially. But her music career will never get back to what it was. Travie McCoy. Travie McCoy, the frontman of Gym Class Heroes, took the spotlight in 2010. The band was hugely successful with their single, Cupid's Chokehold, reaching number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100. They were also big in the UK. In 2010, Travie released his solo single Billionaire, featuring Bruno Mars, which became a huge hit, reaching number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100, and he seemed poised to become a pop superstar. He even dated Katy Perry for like 2 years in the late 2000s. Billionaire became a pop culture moment, largely because of his catchy chorus. The song dominated radio, giving Travie his solo moment to shine. Unfortunately, he couldn't replicate the success of the song. His follow-up singles didn't gain much traction, and his album sales were underwhelming. The Gym Class Heroes also disbanded shortly after, further halting his momentum. Timing and the lack of follow-up hits were obstacles, but his biggest battle was with drugs. He struggled with an addiction to opioids and took the time to deal with that. He's now officially clean, and he tried to make a comeback with Never Slept Better in 2022, but that hasn't quite worked out. Ice Spice. Ice Spice is a rapper hailing from the Bronx, New York. She began her music career in 2021 while she was in college. She first gained significant attention on social media after doing a viral challenge on TikTok, and people were impressed by her body. In late 2022, she released her viral hit Munch, which exploded on TikTok. It led to a record deal with 10K Projects. Her debut EP Like was released in January 2023 and featured several successful singles, including Bikini Bottom and In Her Mood. Her collaborations also played a part in her popularity, as her remix of Princess Diana with Nicki Minaj, her involvement on the Barbie soundtrack, and The Boy's a Liar with Pink Panthers all peaked in the top 5 of the Billboard Hot 100. She made history by becoming the first rapper to release 4 songs that achieved top 10 status in the same year. In 2024, she received 4 Grammy nominations, including Best New Artist. Her collaboration with Taylor Swift on Karma peaked at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and raised her profile. But by the time her first full-length album Y2K was released in July 2024, her sound felt tired. The album included 10 tracks, featuring collaborations with artists like Travis Scott and Central C, but it only debuted at number 18 on the Billboard 200, which was a complete flop. After a string of controversies this year and her music not really evolving, it seems like her 15 minutes in the spotlight is over. Milli Vanilli. Milli Vanilli, a pop duo consisting of Rob Pilatus and Fab Morvan, rose to fame in the late 1980s with their debut album Girl You Know It's True. The album was a massive success, spawning several hit singles like the title track and Girl I'm Gonna Miss You. Their catchy music and unique look quickly made them pop icons, and they even won a Grammy Award for Best New Artist in 1990. However, their meteoric rise came crashing down when it was revealed that they did not actually sing any of their tracks, after a stage malfunction exposed that they were lip-syncing. That was a huge deal at the time. The real vocals were provided by other nameless singers. This scandal was one of the biggest in music history and led to the duo being stripped of their Grammy, and their career was effectively over. In the aftermath, Rob and Fab attempted to rebuild their reputations, but they struggled to gain public trust. While Fab transitioned into a modest solo career, Rob faced personal struggles, including issues with substance abuse. Tragically, he died in 1998 from a drug overdose. Despite their fall, their story remains a cautionary tale in pop music. But if a big pop star was exposed these days, I don't think it would be that big of a deal. 303. 303 is a duo that emerged during the late 2000s era. This period was marked by a focus on partying set against glitzy Europop beats. The duo, consisting of Sean Foreman and Nathaniel Monty, took their name from the Colorado area code. They gained initial attention through MySpace, which played a significant role in launching many mid-2000s superstars. Their major label debut came in 2007, but it was their second studio album in 2008 that propelled them into the spotlight. The song received a big backlash when it was released, but Don't Trust Me became a commercial success, peaking at number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100 and hitting the top 25 in the UK. Although it had minor chart success, it later gained traction on TikTok, while their collaboration with Kesha on Blah 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 and their track My First Kiss solidified their place in pop music. However, their 2010 album Streets of Gold marked the end of their mainstream success. Pop music was making a shift, and 303 were the ones left behind. Following their peak in the late 2000s and early 2010s, they failed to chart on the Billboard Hot 100, despite releasing new music that retained their signature sound. They had label issues, and the subsequent albums they released didn't do well, which signaled their fall off. Recently, they have ventured into hyperpop collaborations, working with artists like Hannah Gix and Rebecca Black, but a comeback is unlikely. Jsan. Jsan began his career in the UK's underground R&B scene, but it wasn't until he transitioned to mainstream pop that he became a global name. In 2009, he released Down, featuring Lil Wayne, which quickly climbed to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. This marked a historic moment, as he became the first British Asian artist to top the US charts. Down was Jsan's biggest hit, selling over 6 million copies worldwide. It was followed by other successful singles like Do You Remember featuring Sean Paul and Lil Jon, which was also a big hit. But after that, none of his singles reached the heights of his breakout hits. After his initial success, his follow-up albums and singles failed. He didn't release any songs that charted on the Billboard Hot 100 after 2012. I mean, he was signed to Cash Money Records, and if you look into Birdman's business dealings, you can guess why his music output slowed down. He still releases music independently, but his last studio album came way back in 2013. Tyle Cruz. Tyle Cruz broke through in 2009 with the release of his hit single Break Your Heart. The song topped the charts in the UK and the US, and his follow-up single Dynamite became an even bigger success, reaching number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100, but having incredible lasting power. His electropop and dance-friendly sound made him a staple on the radio and in clubs worldwide. It was huge, selling over 6 million copies in the US alone. He also collaborated with major artists like Ludacris and Kylie Minogue, cementing his place in early 2010s pop culture. He even won a couple of awards. After the release of his third studio album TYO, his popularity began to wane. His attempts to evolve his sound did not resonate with fans, and the hits stopped coming. Much like other artists of the early 2010s, Tyle's career was closely tied to the electropop wave. As musical tastes shifted by the mid-2010s, his sound felt outdated, and he couldn't keep up with the changing landscape. He has since taken a step back from the spotlight, focusing on songwriting and other ventures. He wrote big songs like Jennifer Lopez's I'm Into You and David Guetta's Without You. He has also been involved in tech startups and occasionally releases music independently. He hasn't released a studio album since 2011. Which artists did I miss? Tell me in the comments below.